welcome to this edition with Dirt Talk with Drake York, and you'll never guess where I am, at Bill McAnally Racing with the one and only Bill McAnally. It's good to have you.
Well, it's great to be on your show. Appreciate you coming to our shop.
It's really nice out here. Whenever you're driving by, you can always get your car fixed at their shop down here. Today's show will be presented by Tommy Herseth's Vintage Race Cars and the Chico Police Officers Association. So, Bill, how did you get involved in this wild sport of racing?
Well, I used to attend the races at Roseville at All-American Speedway. Went out there and got interested, so me and a buddy built an entry-level car called a Bomber, and we would split the driving duties. I'd drive one weekend, and he'd ride passenger, and then he'd drive the next weekend, and I'd ride passenger. And that's how it started, just the entry-level of a Saturday night weekly show at All-American Speedway.
And then you got into the NASCAR K&N Series. How did that all come about?
Well, I worked my way through the local divisions, from bombers to street stocks to late models, and then ultimately we won a NASCAR Winston Racing Series late model championship. And I was looking at the next place to go, and the NASCAR, it was the Winston West back then, what's the K&N today, and started running the Winston West.
How many years have you ran in the NASCAR K&N Series?
Well, I started driving, my very first start was in 1992, and when I first started, I'd run one K&N race or two, and then run my late model until I could afford to run another K&N race. So we started out very slowly. Ran our first full season in the K&N in 1995 for the championship.
You were talking about your Bomber and your late model earlier. Did you drive anything else other than those cars?
No, it's always been NASCAR stock cars, from the entry level up to the NASCAR K&N Series.
Well, we're seeing a lot of drivers step out of the cockpit now. What was the reason for you to stop racing?
I was working at the utility company and just had the money to do things not 100%, and I drew some interest from somebody that could bring some funding if they could drive my car, and I would help put it together and manage the team for them. And I put Gary Smith in the car, and with his sponsorship he brought and the sponsorship I had from Napa, we're able to do things really right. And the first year I was out of the car, we finished third in the points to Kevin Harvick. He won the championship.
I have no idea what it would feel like to own a NASCAR organization. What is that feeling for you? Is it really busy, but when everything's said and done, how do you feel?
No, it's really rewarding to help develop the younger talent in NASCAR, and when you see the drivers and crew members get to capture their dreams and move forward in NASCAR, it couldn't be more rewarding. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing it. It is busy trying to find the drivers and the sponsorship and getting the cars built and the equipment ready. It is a busy thing, but it's a lot of fun.
How many years have you been an owner in NASCAR?
Well, I started racing and I was my owner in 1986, but in the K&N Series the first full season was 95. So long enough that I should have wised up and found another way to make a living, but still doing it today.
What does it take to run a NASCAR team?
Probably the most important thing is good people. When you get people that care and that work hard and are passionate about what they do, things get a lot easier. And that's like, right now we're on a run, we've won a lot of races, and that's because we've got great people. That's the most important thing, is the people you surround yourself with. That can make my job so easy or so difficult, depending on the people I have in place.
We know a lot of NASCAR teams are over on the East Coast. You're based here on the West Coast. Is it harder for you to be out here instead of out where most of the NASCAR teams are?
Well, the last two seasons I actually had a second shop on the East Coast, and it was actually harder having an East Coast shop and a West Coast shop. My family's here and my businesses are here. I like to be on the West Coast, and having a team on the East Coast was difficult, so this year I brought them all back to the West Coast, and we're running our East Coast race. We go to Bristol next weekend, but we're running it here from the West Coast. So yeah, there's challenges. It's a lot of miles, but when you look at renting two different facilities and all the bills it takes and people, it's a lot better to have it under one roof where I could be here every day.
Have you ever thought about running one of the 3 NASCAR major touring series like the Cup, Xfinity, or the trucks? Have you thought about running one of those?
Well, back in 2002, I was able to build a truck team for Brendan Gaughan, and we won Rookie Year, won some truck races. It was a lot of fun, but the problem running the National Touring Series for me was I was out traveling so much. It wasn't so hands-on. You couldn't build the relationships with the sponsors. I just didn't like being away and on the road as much as the National Touring took. And with the K&N Series, we've got 14 races a year. And then we're running, this year we'll run 7 East races, so I've got 21 races. But they're pretty much in and out for the most part, 1 day or 2 days. You're not at the track. When we were running trucks, we'd be there sometimes 3 days. And it just, with the travel days and everything, you're gone a lot.
You know some teams purchase or build their cars. Which one do you do? Do you purchase your cars or do you build your cars?
Well, we purchase the bare chassis, and we just can't afford to build them as cheap as we can buy them. So we purchase the bare chassis, and then we go ahead and put the body on, put all the mounts in it, plumb it, wire it. We do all the work of the car, but we buy the bare chassis.
What's your favorite part about owning a NASCAR team?
Probably seeing others achieve their dreams and goals. It's my dream and goal to make a living racing and being able to race full time, and I've got to do that now for a lot of years. But bringing people in and seeing them achieve their goals and move up the NASCAR ladder, seeing crew members that get to go back east and get full-time jobs on a Cup team, seeing drivers move up the ladder, that's probably the most rewarding thing.
Well, we go from the best part to the most challenging part. What is the most challenging part about owning a NASCAR organization?
I would say finding the right people, because the people are so important. It's always a challenge to find the right people that, like I said, are passionate about it and care about it. So finding the right people would be the hardest thing.
Your team has been on a roll lately. You guys have pretty much won every single race you've entered in. What's been the secret to success lately?
I'll tell you, we've got some great drivers, first and foremost, that have a lot of potential, and I'd look for our drivers to keep moving forward. But their teams, their crew chiefs, the truck driver, the secretary in the office that's booking the airfare, everybody. We've got a great group of people right now, and you get great people, and they work hard, and you put the effort in, you get the results, and that's where we're at now.
You're talking about your drivers. Who are your drivers? And you're giving them a lot of praise right now, so that's good for them.
Well, we have some great drivers. We've got Chris Eggleston, our 2015 NASCAR K&N champion, has came back this year to defend his championship. He's third overall in the points right now. He drives our number 50 Napa Filters Toyota. Then we've got a young female driver, Julia Landauer. She won the late model championship last year back east, driving for Lee Pullum. She's driving for us full time in our number 15 Toyota, number 54 Toyota, and then in our number 19 NOS Energy Drink Toyota is young Riley Herbst out of Las Vegas, Nevada. He's doing a real good job. He finished 4th last week at Kern County for us. And then Todd Gilliland driving our number 16 Napa Auto Parts Toyota. Can't say enough about him. Very special young man. He's won the last 4 races, the only 4 races in the NASCAR K&N he's won. So I don't know what he's going to do when he doesn't win a race. He doesn't know how to do anything else.
You were talking about how your drivers are so good. Do you think 2016 will be the best year for Bill McAnally Racing?
I'll tell you what, it's starting out that way, and we're going to work hard to make it the best year ever, that's for sure.
I know you promoted the Roseville races a couple of years ago. Do you still promote that now?
Yeah, matter of fact, this year I've got a promotions department, and when our sponsors want a race but can't get it in a certain area, like the Sacramento market or up in Oregon, this year we did Irwindale. This year we're doing Irwindale, California, Roseburg, Oregon, and Roseville, California. We've got 3 races that we're promoting. That's probably one of the most challenging jobs I've ever done, is promoting a race, because then you're not just trying to make your sponsors happy, you're trying to make the race teams happy and the race fans happy. You're running around trying to make the world happy when you're promoting a race.
How did you get involved in promoting?
Well, Napa actually called back in 2002 and they wanted to race in Oregon, but it was a county-owned facility, and the county wouldn't take the risk of having a big event that cost a lot of money. They just couldn't. So they offered to let me use the track at a very nominal fee if I would promote the race, and Napa got behind it with me, and we went ahead and did the race, and it was a huge success, and just kind of happened on a fluke.
Well, thanks for your time, Bill.
You're more than welcome.
I'll let you get back to running a busy NASCAR team. Tune in next time, guys. I'll see you later. Today's show has been presented by Chad Trucking and Kimball Midwest.